to empower impoverished single women and their children in Ethiopia. To become economically self-sufficient through a sustainable, community-based program providing healthcare, training, education, and jobs. This is the vision of Humani. Jody Collins and her family have a 52-year history in Ethiopia and possess a deep passion for helping impoverished women and children in the country.
I'm Jody Collins. I'm the CEO of Humani, Inc. And in 1964, a very young couple, I was 23, my husband was 26, our daughter was 9 months old. We boarded a Norwegian freighter for Ethiopia in East Africa. We traveled 30 days across the Atlantic, through the Mediterranean, the Suez Canal, and into the Red Sea. We disembarked in Djibouti, French Somaliland, and flew to Ethiopia, where we would live for 13 years. But 10 years after we arrived in Ethiopia, expecting to live here the rest of our lives, there was a Marxist revolution that changed everything.
Jody Collins' book, Code Word Catherine, tells a heroic story of how the family escaped from Ethiopia with 10 of Emperor Haile Selassie's grandchildren.
A military junta that took over the regime at that time, deposing the previous, the last emperor, the last king of kings in Africa, had also nationalized, confiscated their properties, nationalized their houses, their house, and whatsoever earnings they had at that time. So I would expect a family like this to turn away their faces from this country instead of coming back to this country. And that's when I said, my God, what a wonderful group of people to even think of to come back to this country.
I had gotten a request to donate some equipment to a not-for-profit from some of the ICU nurses, and was just curious as to what the agency was about. And when I went up to visit the ICU to find out more, Shelley Carlson was actually working up there. And so I began having a conversation with her about her background. And at that time, she was actually getting ready to leave for Ethiopia and start a clinic in Addis Ababa. So I found out that she was actually raised in Ethiopia, and I also learned about the book that her mother had written called Code Word Catherine, and was again so intrigued by the book. I went back to Shelley and said, you know, I really believe that if you're going to go to Ethiopia and you have this project going, that I'd like to use that as my project.
So in 2002, I incorporated what I called Humani, Inc. Humani meaning humanitarian. And it was at that time that I first really had the vision to come back to Ethiopia and work with and empower impoverished young women with children.
What Humani, I believe, is going to do is to build a center, the center that serves to train these women, to give them the opportunity to learn how to work, how to generate income. So in such a way, they will be able to be self-sustained and at the same time serving their communities.
One of our original partners was Polytech Architects. I had met Manoj, a principal partner in Polytech. When I returned from Ethiopia, I called Manoj and I said, I think we're ready for that conceptual drawing. It's a 15-acre campus that has everything that I ever dreamed of.
The project incorporates job training, clinical aspect of healthcare, education for children, And the sectors of different training that we have are not only agriculture, dairy, poultry, computer skills, business skills, bakery skills, horticultural skills, beekeeping, and even silk making. It's a sustainable project that will train many, many women to better their lives. And that's our goal, is to better these women's lives, empower these women so that they can change the lives of their children and their community. And eventually it changes and swings the culture of the country.
For the women, we are giving psychological and financial support. But before we go to the trainings to the financial benefit, we have to have a time together with the women with a coffee ceremony, so that we can raise every issue in Ethiopia, why the women became affected, and how they can relieve themselves from the affection area, and how they can become independent, financially independent women and self-confident women.
Shelley has now been involved too with the nurse empowerment, which is an effort that we started at the hospital to just allow nurses, right, to be able to have and make more independent decisions about patients and about healthcare. Something we traditionally have not done well, and I think Shelley's taken that concept and said that, you know, this is something we can use with Humani and looking at the clinics that we hope to be able to be opening up, you know, with the Humani project in a number of community centers.
And as Shelley repeatedly says it, the most important job of a nurse is to remain as a patient advocate. So for our nurses to be excellent patient advocates, they have to first feel pride in being a nurse and in caring for patients. And we're going to work together hand in hand to bring back the confidence, the pride, and to instill motivation in our nurses.
So now we are, especially for the donations coming from Humani, we want to be hubs where we distribute the donations to other hospitals, the ones that we have visited. So these equipments, we are not only going to use them at St. Paul. So every other institution that is linked with us is going to use these donations as a resource.
We're very excited about the next phase of our project, Humani Villages. We've completed the assessments, we've completed our approvals, and now we're ready to launch Humani Villages in Bahir Dar, Ethiopia. And now we're looking for your support. There are several areas where you can support us. You can volunteer. There's areas in the States where you can volunteer. You can help us pack. You can help us sort medical equipment. You can help in so many different ways. You can help in Ethiopia. There are many areas where people can help. In the agricultural area, in the dairy. If you love cows, the dairy is the place for you. And the horticulture and the cafe and the dining hall and working in the baby nursery and in the preschool. There are so many areas where we'll need people's help. And finally, you can help us financially. No amount is too small. Don't think because you give $5, $10 that it's not making a difference. Everything makes a difference. We thank you. We thank you for this opportunity to share Humani Villages with you. So we hope that you'll get on board and you'll support this great project. Humani is committed to care and has a passion to serve. Join us.
Join Humani in making Humani Villages a reality and help impact the lives of women and children throughout Ethiopia.